right, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I have a video about NIA DACOSTA and the media spin that is happening right now regarding her film, The Marvels. Now, we talked about the fact that they are trying to spin the media frenzy that's going on right now with The Marvels, and they're trying to turn it into something positive. Now, I don't necessarily blame them for doing so. I just think the way that they're going about it is actually pretty damn ridiculous. Now, they're trying to basically say that The Marvels is a success simply because it is the highest grossing film ever for a black woman director. Yes, they are going straight for the racial shield like they always do, and they're trying to talk about how the fact that it is the highest grossing film for a black woman. So apparently, this complete failure of a movie should be praised simply because a black woman is behind it. This is why they put certain people in certain places, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about this all the time, and we're going to get into an article here from Blavity. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. Also, side note, I am still sick, so if I sound like crap, I apologize. So it says, there's been a lot of talk about the Marvel's performance at the box office, and though many are talking about how it underperformed, they are not noting that the film has broken more ground for black women filmmakers. Now, here's the crazy thing about all of this. So if you're trying to make this seem as something positive, right, for black women, you essentially have to admit that black women produce some of the lowest overall performing films out there, right? Because they say that, oh, Candyman was her previous best performing film, and that's not that great either, right? That movie did very bad as well. And they also tend to mention other movies, but it's a narrative that is weird because it's like you're trying to spin this story so bad that you're actually not realizing how you're coming off when you're spinning this story. This movie's bombing in the box office. We made that very clear. I've made so many videos on it. Other YouTubers have made so many videos on it. It's very clear this movie's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars for Marvel. It is very, very clear. So if you're trying to say that, oh, well, even though it's losing hundreds of millions of dollars, hey, it's still the highest performing film ever by a black woman, that's not a great thing. Like that's not something to be proud of. Like you're not trying to convince me that you're going to be happy with a performance like this. $161 million globally in an MCU film? Are you kidding me right now? Like, you cannot be happy with this. So again, you can use the racial shield all you want. You can try to latch on to the fact that it's a black woman that made this film, so that's why you should be happy about how it's doing. No. It's still a failure. It's still a massive, massive failure, and they should treat it as such. They should not just try to twist it and make it seem like something's positive just because a black woman is behind this film. So it says The Marvels, directed by NIA DACOSTA, is the highest grossing film ever for a black female director, surpassing Ava DuVernay's A Wrinkle in Time. The Marvels has currently grossed $161 million worldwide, while A Wrinkle in Time grossed $132 million. DaCosta was previously second to DuVernay with a previous film, Candyman. This means DaCosta has 2 out of the 3 highest grossing films from black women. That's not a good thing, man, because these movies are not successes. They are massive failures. These women have lost these studios an insane amount of money. This is not something that you want to keep on your record. I wouldn't be happy about this at all. This statistic was highlighted in Deadline's latest article about DuVernay's origin becoming the highest tested film for DuVernay and Neon. However, this fact has been drowned out across entertainment outlets as a whole in order to highlight, and perhaps in some cases hype up, the fact that the film was an overall underperformer for Marvel Studios, which has films that have crossed the 1 billion mark, such as Black Panther. No. Time out. This film is not a failure because it didn't meet the $1 billion that the other movies within the MCU met. Stop trying to twist the words, okay? This movie is a failure because they overextended their budget. They spent an ungodly amount of money on what? I have absolutely no idea, right? Anybody who saw this movie, you cannot look at this movie and tell me this was a $300 million budget film. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. It didn't have the look. It didn't have the CGI. It didn't have the performance. There's no fucking way this film cost $300 million. Now, with that being said, obviously the film needed to make about $600 million in the box office just to break even on the budget, not even including the marketing. So you couple all of that together, put everything together, that's why this movie's a failure. This movie's at $160 million, people. $160 million. After they take their cut, that's 70 some odd million dollars. That's why the movie's a failure. It's not that it didn't meet the $1 billion mark like other films, because those films films met those marks for a reason, right? Whether they came out at the right time or the right place, or it was just a fantastic film that was carried by word of mouth like the Spider-Man No Way Home. There's a reason why those films passed $1 billion. This film right here has a budget that was higher than those films, and it's hitting $160 million. That's why it's a failure. So to sit here and pretend as if you are excited about this, as if you're happy about this, I think that is really disingenuous. I think that is bad for the overall picture regarding black female directors. You're making it really seem, if I was someone looking to hire a female director, why would I statistically want to hire a black female director when very clearly they produce films that lose hundreds of millions of dollars? I'm just putting that out there. That's how you're putting this out there. You're essentially saying that, oh, it's the highest grossing films for black women, so they're doing great. No. They are terrible movies. They're performing really, really bad. So why would you want to promote that as if it's a good thing? You can spin it all you want and rely on their race, but that's only going to get you so far. It says the extreme focus on the Marvel's performance also seems to be because this is one of the few Marvel films predominantly led by women. Oh, here we go. Joining Scarlett Johansson's starter Black Widow, as the Mary Sue reported, the film was facing an uphill battle after a tough year for entertainment and superhero films overall. As the site states, it's simply too hard, many things stacked against it, such as superhero fatigue, the SAG-AFTRA strike, the newness of the characters, and negativity from sexist trolls. Okay. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Sexist trolls, yes. So they are essentially admitting that us, right, the people who they're calling sexist trolls, we have an immense amount of power, it looks like. The people who try to say we didn't mean anything, the people who try to say we're the minority, they're basically admitting now that we have an immense amount of power. If we can tank this film, that makes it seem as if we have a great amount of power. So I don't know if they want to admit that or not. They might want to second guess what they're saying. It says author Stephen King called the online reporting of the film barely masked gloating on social media, with the Mary Sue further writing how the online bashing of the film seems directly related to the fact that women were at the helm of the film, in front of and behind the screen. That has nothing, absolutely fuck all to do with it. The problem is that the women that are behind this film think that the film should be successful simply because they are women. That is the problem. And it's very clear that the Mary Sue, which we all know what the Mary Sue is like, they have writers that have the same exact mentality. They think that the film should be successful simply because there is women behind the actual film and there's women in the front line of the film. So that's why they think the film should be successful. But no. The film is not successful, not because of us, not because of the strike, not because of anything else other than the fact that it is simply a god-awful, terrible film. There's no way that you are at $161 million and you can blame all this other stuff other than yourselves. No, this is your fault. You made this. You made your bed, and now you have to lie in it. It says every media outlet was almost too eager to run dramatic headlines around the Marvels being the Marvels' worst film and marking a new low for the franchise, according to the site. Then there are the sexist trolls openly gloating because they know they could twist the Marvel shortcomings to insist that women don't belong in film. Nobody's doing that. Nobody has ever once done that. All we are simply marking and showing you is that your ideology is ruining your films. Your ideology is simply projecting yourself onto people, and it is ruining your films. You are literally pigeonholing yourselves into such a niche kind of film, and your budgets don't represent that niche. You cannot spend $300 million plus, not including marketing, on such a niche product that is only going to pull in less than $200 million. You can't do it. You can't be subsidized for that long. If you're going to lose $300 million plus per film, how long do you think you're going to have before they stop making your movies? You get what I'm saying? So after a while, you have to realize that if you cannot give up your ideology, if you cannot give up this stuff, then you simply have to. You have to make the budget smaller. If you cannot make the budget smaller, then guess what? You're probably going to have to make your movies more susceptible to more audiences. You can't make it so niche. So blame everybody all you want, ladies and gentlemen. Blame everything you possibly can. You can blame literally anything, but ultimately you only have yourselves to blame. Marvel, you only have yourselves to blame. Nia DaCosta, you only have yourselves to blame. Period. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.